The Division One baseball landscape, crowded. You figure I'll just go JUCO for 2 years and then I'll look for a Division One baseball. Is that really applicable? Is that a reality? Is it a realistic game plan? Let's talk about that here today. Over the years, when I have talked with parents about the college recruiting experience, inevitably there's always a discussion, well, should he just go to a junior college and be able to play right away? That's the mindset. Here's the reality for parents. Today's world is so much different than even a year ago. It's so much different. And when we're talking to families and more importantly to the student athlete, the JUCO experience is not what most families or athletes think that it is. I've said this repeatedly. The junior college experience is not kind of that next tier beyond high school. What it is extremely competitive, it's extremely crowded, and in light of what's happening with regard to these new roster cap uh, rules and regulations that have yet to be implemented but are in the discussion mode, junior colleges are going to be even more crowded. They are not under that NCAA umbrella. So let's talk about that. First and foremost, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It's free, and it would really help me with regard to the algorithm and the growth of the channel. So thank you for that. Junior college baseball, predominantly throughout the Southeast, the Southwest, all the way out to the West Coast, which is a different animal. And obviously, here in the Northeast and Mid Atlantic, you have the junior college divisions of JUCO 1, Division 2, and Division 3. For the most part, in the Northeast and Mid Atlantic, Gloucester, Northern Essex, etc., Quinsigamond Junior College, Community College of Rhode Island, or affectionately known as CCRI, those are NCAA Division III programs. And generally, those programs have a full roster, a competitive roster, very competitive roster, and they tend to be in this part of the country, meaning most of the rosters are comprised from the cold weather states throughout New England, Mid Atlantic, and the Northeast. When we start to get into the junior colleges, Division II, Division I JUCOs, LSU Eunice, Blinn, San Jacinto, Chipola, those types of schools, Delgado down in New Orleans, those types of schools are extremely, extremely competitive. And parents, you need to understand the pushback, or the blowback. The Division One athlete that gets released or transfers and looks to go down, they're going to get first opportunity, first crack. Fall roster is extremely crowded. Anywhere from 50 to as high as 100 athletes competing for roster spots for the spring. And the other important part of junior college experience to understand, fall baseball is extremely aggressive, extremely competitive. There are a lot of games, and you could go through that 2 or 3 month window of competitive workouts and tryouts, for lack of a better term. And then as you're about to hit the spring semester, in December and January, all of a sudden, these D1 athletes begin to fall out of the sky, in some cases D2, where they get asked to, move on, or they're not going to have a home at those NCAA Division 1 and 2 schools. So you have the fallbacks that occurred during, that December, January time period. And so now you're competing with a whole nother group. And so while you may earn a starting position in the fall, you never know what could happen in those months of December and January. Junior college is a real different animal, and it takes a lot of commitment, effort, energy as far as communication with the coaching staff, what the role really is. Is there going to be a redshirt requirement? That's important. Are they going to ask your son or daughter to redshirt and kind of spend 3 years to play two? That happens very frequently. Also, sometimes scholarships are just books. Sometimes it's just tuition and not room and board. Some junior colleges get very creative. They have baseball apartments where a lot of the athletes are put into housing together. A lot of attention to detail with regard to junior college recruiting. Who's in front? What's the philosophy? Those are questions you really need to be asking. We've had Jeff Willis on here from LSU Eunice. We've had Jeff Major from Northern Essex. Uh, we're going to continue to have those coaches. But for parents and student athletes, it is critical to understand that the JUCO experience is just as, if not more, competitive than an NCAA program, Division One, two, or three. This is something that you must understand. There's a lot of balls, no pun intended, that are in the air. You have to make sure that your curriculum is transferable, that the hours, the credits, etc., are going to transfer into a potential higher level academic institution at the NCAA level. You have to make sure, are you going to be asked to redshirt? Is that something that you're particularly interested in? Now, when we start to look at the Division One, everybody looks at JUCO Division One. I want to go to Division One. Is this a pathway to go to Division One athletics? Division One athletics across the board, particularly baseball, as I've repeatedly said, they're going to get older. It's 20-year-old freshmen to 24-year-old seniors, and in some cases, a little bit older. Division One is going to be filled to the brim with elite talent. No longer is the MLB draft taking a lot of the high school athletes away from college programs. No longer are the Major League Baseball draft is it taking the junior or the sophomore, the redshirt sophomore. MLB draft is really taking the older, polished, physically ready, mentally ready athlete out of the college program. They're taking it in a greatly reduced number. What used to be 15 to 1600 students being drafted now is less than 700. So that means that there's a lot of roster tightness happening and occurring because of that firm roster cap, which has not yet been finalized. Need to stress that. We hear 34, but that number has not been formally put out there yet and voted on by both the presidents and the college coaches and conferences. It could be 34 roster cap with 6 red shirts or 6 walk-ons. Coaches really want that 40-man roster to stay in place. I can guarantee that. But the number one message that I want parents and student athletes to take away from this video is it is not an easy progression to play at the Division One level. That's why I'm constantly talking about NAIA, NCAA Division Two, and more importantly, NCAA Division Three. College athletics are a part of the collective college experience. It is important to look from a geographical and academic capacity, the campus size, campus location, things of that nature. Division One athletes, they're about to enter a really big boy world of business to go along with the academic and the athletic piece. And I really think parents need to give careful consideration to what Division One athletics are going to require from your child. It is less of a freedom and more of a business structure with regard to that collective experience. Time is not your own. You don't make up your own schedules. You're really at the mercy of the baseball program, the athletic program, dictating when you can take classes, when the study halls are, when your workouts are, when you're eating. Obviously, you're trying to squeeze some sleep and social life in there. For questions like this, we're going to start to really take a deeper dive with a lot of the coaches and begin to ask a little bit more, the questions a little bit more about the collective experience as opposed to just talking about the athletic experience individually. If you like this type of content, please hit the notification bell. I'm asking you, if you like this type of content, consider subscribing, becoming a member of the channel. The channel is really about to take on a deeper dive as the collective experience. We're going to talk to those athletic advisors, academic advisors, nutrition, mental strength, mental development, mental performance. We're going to get a deeper insight from college coaches, strength coaches at the college levels, and those are going to be available to our members. So consider becoming a member. Thank you for watching, and have a great week in baseball.